that we're at the beginning of a polar flip, a polar shift, because the weather's getting really wild. And to see an airplane flipped over on its side and its wings knocked off. This is Delta Flight 4819, operated by regional subsidiary, and it has been involved in an accident at Toronto Pearson Airport, and you can see it. The aircraft is a CRJ 900. It's shockingly upside down, and the emergency response is underway, and the airport is closed. What? I've been in an airplane where there's been a lot of turbulence, but that was just a small commuter plane when we lived in around the Presidio of Monterey. But to be in this with the winds and stuff, I mean, it's on the news, but to flip it upside down and the plane to literally, I've never seen something. And the tornadoes that are ripping through so many areas. Like I was watching the news with my mom in Kentucky. Hello there. I was watching the news with my mom, and so many tornadoes have touched down across the country, like back to back and back and back, with flash floods and stuff like this. We've got strange weather events that are occurring is what's happening. So this is, there is talk of a polar shift, but is there, if there's a polar shift, then is something coming? These people are freezing. I wonder if these people got off the airplane. They may not have, you all. This may just be something different. And you can see these news channels right there. Let me look at this. The latest that they've got on this. The plane flips over on the landing in Toronto, and it leaves 3 that are critically injured. You can see it right here. Hello, welcome. There was 80 people on board that airplane. Look at this, another image of it right here, Air Canada. 80 people are 3 people are critically injured. And you can see the plane has flipped over from Minnesota. Okay, Delta flight from Minnesota has been evacuated. The airport says all the passengers and crews are accounted for. The police circumstances of the crash are unknown. Most of the passengers are unharmed. Let me see I don't know what this video is going to do. Hello. Let me see if I can see this. Okay, let's look at this right here. Well, this ain't going to play nothing. Let me look at this right here. They're trying to flip it over, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. There's so much snow. Hello. Look at that. I can't even see where the airplane's at, but they've got these crews right here. Well, they were flying in the air. I heard on the news. And the wind picked up. Plus, there was a lot of snow that was on the ground, too. I think they said something about 4 foot of snow or something. But it's like a big gust of wind came and just flipped it or something. And I don't know how its wings broke off. I really don't. It's really strange. Very, very strange. And I'm wondering, are we at the beginning stages of a polar flip, a polar shift? Now, I know there's lots of talk about, controlling the weather. He who controls the weather controls the world. Isn't that right? And like angels don't play this harp. Weather making machines, UFOs creating havoc, or the sunspots on the sun. The solar flares are just causing instability, or we're just nearing the end of a cycle, you all. Let's look at this right here. Let me see this again. Look at that. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, the clone's out. Wild Friends World. Yeah. So that's what that is right there. Let me think about this. So no flip on a flat Earth. Well, the sun can flip, and that would be a polar flip from the sun. So you could experience a flip like that on a flat Earth with the sun flipping its poles. And I've seen the sun flip before on some of the NASA products that we have. I have. You see some bad people. Let me look at this right here. Yeah, get these dummies out of here. Go to another channel. Let me show you. How about you take care of them? Get them out. Okay, I just made you a moderator. You can get them out of here. When you see the dummies on here who want to steer trouble, you go ahead. Wild Ferns World. You don't have to worry about being moderator the whole time. But if you want to get them out, I give you, you got it. Yes, perfect. You so very welcome. Now, the sun's poles do flip also. We've done many videos on the NASA website where we caught the sun literally flipping, doing like this, boop. Oop, I hit myself with this tire gauge. It literally flipped itself really fast, and then it flipped itself back over. So that's a polar flip right there. But no, there's some kind of a pole shift coming. There's a lot of talk of it, a pole shift. Pole shift and the weather. This weather is like, it's really erratic. I mean, you can blame it. Look at this right here. You can blame it on other things like that. The plane crashes are really crazy. Yeah, love is the answer. A pole shift is a hypothetical change in the location of Earth's geographic poles, but the true north is already shifting. It's already shifting, the true north. Let's look at this, true north. True north shifting. Now, you can find that on certain people's compasses, SHI, shifting on poles. Let me look at this. I'll bring up NASA in a minute. So look at this. Why is Earth's magnetic North Pole drifting so rapidly? Earth and the sky. You see that right there? Earth's magnetic pole is on the move, and scientists, what do the scientists say? They have released a new model tracking the position of the magnetic North Pole, revealing that the pole is now closer to Siberia than it was 5 years ago. Well, see, that was in January of 2021. National Centers for Environmental Information, wondering of the geomagnetic poles. The most recent survey determined that the pole is moving approximately north-northwest at 55 kilometers per year. It is experiencing a shift. Oh, I'm getting hot in here, you all. Yeah, they're happy time. Hold on, I gotta take it off. This coat's a little bit too hot for me. Yeah, the weather has to do with the pole shift. Plus, the Earth's tilt is more than it's normal. Whew. Okay, y'all, let me get this off of here. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm having a hot flash here. We're talking about the pole flipping. Let me see your. Let me address this. I'm cozy, but I got a little bit hot. Yeah. No, see, you're gonna no. Okay, you all. So let me see this. The position of it. What was? Let me see your comment again. The Earth's tilt. That's right. The Earth's tilt. Perfect. That's what I was getting ready to look at. The Earth's tilt. The Earth's tilt. And NASA. I like them. Look. NASA. All about that tilt, the sun and the seasons, okay? So the sun, could it be the sun? The axis of the basketball is vertical, straight up and down, but Earth spins on its axis that is tilted. Is Earth rotating faster in 2024? I'm going to see what they're going to say. The speed up continued through 2010, and on July 2029, remember they said the center, Earth's core, had stopped spinning? Remember that? We did a video on that. They said the core of the Earth had stopped spinning. Let's look at that. The Earth's core stopped it. Earth's core stopped spinning. I think that happened a couple years ago is when that came out. Look at this. You can see the Earth's core. If you're a flat earther, this video is not for you, okay, because you ain't going to want to hear it. But for the sake of this video, Earth is round, okay, for the sake of this video. Yeah. Earth's inner core may have stopped rotating relative to Earth's mantle, around 2009. According to a new study published by Nature Science, Geoscience, the study also suggests that the core may have started to spin in the opposite direction. How could that be? How could the Earth's core, if it's spinning in the opposite direction, do you think it's a turning back time? Well, it just popped into my mind. The study analyzed seismic waves from earthquakes that have passed through the inner core since the 1960s. The study's authors, Yi Yang, well, that's really strange, Yi Yang, because it reminds me of the yin and yang. The study's authors, Yi Yang and Ziyadong Song, found seismic records showed little difference. The core's rotation may have changed or even stopped as part of a 7-decade cycle, 70 years. 70 years, okay, so we got that 70 years. Israel was, and you got the 70th week of Daniel. 70 years. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is kind of wild. What happens if it stops spinning? Well, we're going to see what happens. We're going to have erratic weather. 70 years generational, that's right, is a generation. If Earth's inner core stops spinning, it could significantly change the length of a day and weaken Earth's magnetic field. Well, Earth's magnetic field is definitely weakened. However, scientists say that these changes would be too small to notice. No, it's weakened. There's something out there. Earth's magnetic field is weakening. Earth's magnetic, that's when we're going to have a plasma apocalypse, field weakening. Let me see this. Look. AI overview. The Earth's magnetic field is indeed weakening, with scientists observing, look at this, a decline of 9% in its strength over the past 200 years, primarily noticeable in a large area of reduced intensity between South America and Africa. It is called South Atlantic Anomaly. Remember that the day after tomorrow? But it was the North Atlantic Current. But now we got the South Atlantic Anomaly, which, while the exact cause is still debated, this weakening can potentially signal an upcoming magnetic pole reversal. I need to fix the title of that because I was trying to think of the word instead of magnetic shift. So we're talking about a magnetic pole reversal, and that's going to have an erratic weather events with that. The core already stopped and reversed its directions. That's what we just read, is what we just read. Thank you, Wild of Ferns World. Wow. The rate of decline. The weakening is likely due to changes in the movement of the molten iron within the Earth's outer core, which generates a magnetic field. You know what that reminds me of? Like you have these wires, these copper wires that are all wrapped up and stuff. You ever rebuild an alternator and it has that stuff right there? on it, all the copper and stuff. I haven't never rebuilt it. I was going to rebuild an alternator once, and I thought, just forget it. I think I'll just buy, I was going to do the core thing, and I thought, no, I'll just get a new alternator. Yeah, the quickening. Hey, Frank, honey, how you doing? Is the earth flat? There's a theory that the earth is flat. You can see old maps where it shows a flat earth. But there is a theory, and this is the theory that's the most accepted, is that Earth is a round ball. It's a globe. That is a theory too. There's different mindsets. I mean, sure, you can live on a flat area of land. If you ever go traveling in your car, you see all this, you go through certain states and it's just total flat. Total flat. It's kind of boring. Some states you go through the hills and you go through the mountains, say, wow, this is really exciting, but I don't want to see no flat land. So in that instance, I would say the earth is really flat in those areas like that. Yeah. The South Atlantic and not pole reversal. Okay. While the weakening magnetic field can be a precursor to a pole reversal, where the north and the south magnetic poles switch places, this is a natural phenomenon that has occurred many times in Earth's history, and it's not expected to cause immediate disruptions. When was this? Okay, now we got solar radiation. Increased exposure to solar radiation is a weaker magnetic field, and that is happening. The sun will burn you. If you're in the summertime and that sun is like out and there's no clouds around, you can sit outside. Within a few minutes, your skin feels like it's burning from the intense heat of the sun. And you can't stay out in it too long. It literally will burn you. Look at that. Potentially impact, ooh, listen to that. A weaker magnetic field could allow more charged particles. Well, the plasma is going full blown from the sun to reach the Earth's surface. It can allow it, potentially impacting the satellites and communications. Well, then we'd have a Carrington event now, wouldn't we? From the sun, one great big, we're going to fry all the satellites. Going to get thrown into the dark ages, you all. Oh, see, now this is true too. Look at the Earth's magnetic field. We're talking about a pole reversal. Some animals rely on Earth's magnetic field for navigation, which could be affected by a significant weakening. And we got a weakening. How many times have we seen articles about animals washing up? The whales are washing up on shore because they've lost their compass. They lost their way. The whales washing up on shore. Look. No, this is a different one. Oh, no. See, this ain't even going to let this. No, I've seen some doomsday fish. I don't even know what a doomsday fish is, you all. A fish known as a doomsday fish washed up on San Diego shores. Okay, let me look at this. Giant angelfish. No, these animals they're beached whales. Beached. How did they get beached? Whales. Here we go. Cetacean strandings occur when whales and dolphins strand themselves. Why do they strand themselves? Look, including sickness, injury, bad weather, or navigation errors. And what did we just read? Some animals rely on Earth's magnetic field for navigation. Some whales, they got navigation errors. They need the navigation to know where they're going. Yeah, not the animal and the birds. Well, the birds normally, they normally fly south. The birds are losing their navigation. Birds losing navigation. It's affecting everything. And it affects people too. If you're having a pole reversal, it's going to mess with people's brains. It is. It's going to mess with their polar cortexes, not polar vortex, the polar cortex inside their brains. The field is not done flipping. Wayne, honey, they have silverfish on that beach themselves, and they're called the oarfish. The rises pass through satellites, really. Let me read this, Darren. AI says information is sent through cables under the water. Well, there's a bunch of cables under the water. Look at this. They found that Earth's weather isn't the only thing that can cause birds to veer off course. Space weather seems to impact the birds' internal GPS. Bursts of energies from the sun in the form of sunspots, solar flares, coronal mass ejections are becoming more frequent and may affect how birds navigate. Why are the birds disappearing? Are we having an extinction level event? Birds are losing their habitats they need, places to live, find flood, rest, and raising their young. They may face other threats. What's happening to them? They're going to do it. The severe weather, the severe space weather is messing up the birds' migration, and we're in solar maximum right now. You've been watching it for over 20 years, Wayne. Oh, you're so very welcome, Dolly. Dolly. What is, there's something else. You have a polar cortex in your head? Polar cortex in your head in humans. It reminds me of the polar vortex. It really does. We got a polar cortex, and let's look at the polar vortex, because we're going to have a nor'easter. It's kind of like a polar vortex. I'm going to say cortex, polar vortex. This is the strange weather events right here. Polar vortexes triggers extreme cold warning in central U.S. as Kentucky flooding. That's right across from me. Polar vortex. And then we have, isn't that interesting? In the human brain, the polar cortex refers to the frontal polar cortex, specifically the most anterior part of the prefrontal cortex, associated with the complex cognitive functions like planning, goal-oriented, direction, behavior, decision-making. And then we have a polar vortex. Plus, what do we got? Look at this. A polar vortex has gripped Chicago, but it could feel 60 degrees warmer. Polar vortex brings wind chills as low as -20 to Chicago. Yeah. What brings this subject up? What brings this subject up is, thank you, is the airplanes right here. We can look at it. This airplane right here, literally, it was in Chicago. It crashed. It overturned during a landing at Toronto's Pearson's Airport. You can see it. Let's go to our favorite station, CNN. You know it's not, is our favorite. Look at that, upside down. Its wings got tore up, is what happened to this airplane. And there was 80 people on board. 80 people were on board and 3 were critically injured, is what happened. Oh, now they're saying 18 people. What we know so far, 18 people were injured after a plane crash at Canada's Toronto Pearson International Airport, according to Delta Airlines. Though the flight with 80 people on board from Minneapolis ended up upside down on the runway, and no one was, it's the strong winds have been impacting Toronto all day. Winds are currently sustained at 32 miles per hour with gusts of over 40 miles per hour at Toronto Pearson Airport. The incident comes less than 3 weeks after the American airline plane collided midair with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter while on approach. Well, we know that there is this, look at this, alien theory about aliens that are not supposed to exist. Aliens interfering with the weather. They can. I mean, look at this. Oh, look at this. extraterrestrial involvement in the climate. Some speculate that unexplained shifts in the climate patterns, the extreme heat waves, unexpected weather events, could be the result of extraterrestrial interference, you all. Where are the UFOs? Some theorists suggest that the UFO sightings and encounters may be evidence of extraterrestrial beings actively engaging in this. Extraterrestrials are forcing of surface temperature. It is proposed that visitation by extraterrestrial spacecraft, UFOs, alter the electromagnetic properties of the Earth, its atmosphere, and its oceans. I never heard that. Did you hear that? Yeah. Did the UFOs also? We are in the end times if you're just tuning in. I never heard this about the aliens, and this is how this channel started off with pictures of UFOs right by the sun. I spent 2.5 years documenting them every single day, uploading pictures to the Facebook and the YouTube. Long white ships that have the ability to connect with one another. They have notches on them. And they're in the sky. They are in the clouds. Great big long white ships. One long white ship, which you could call it a UFO, is as long as the top of Table Mountain in Cape Town, South Africa. That's how long one of these ships are. I'd call them ships, but they're light ships. As long as Table Mountain. That is massive. But they are cloaked in the clouds. They're interdimensional too. Hey there, Al Honey. Yeah. Let me look around here, you all. What is this right here? Aliens, sea monsters, weather anomaly was actually just this a weather anomaly? The size of Texas moved up the African coastline and appeared to generate waves larger than 80 feet. I think we looked into that. I believe that was an underwater ship is what I believe it was. China has an undersea base, if you didn't know. They have a base underwater in the ocean. China, ocean base. They have their own. We did a video on it in the water. Look. Beijing building South China Sea Deepwater Space Station. China has fully militarized 3 islands. Where was that at? I watched a documentary on them. It's underwater in China. Oh, there it is right here. Details emerge. This is in futurism. If I can get over to it, you all. Details emerge about China's mysterious underwater base, and it sounds like robot submarines are going to run the show. China was working on an underwater base that would run by artificial intelligence and submersible robots. The new scientists dug up new details on the base from prototypes and scientific documents. They have docking stations, underwater docking stations to recharge. The base itself will probably also conduct scientific work. You can see it right here. Well, you ain't going to see a picture of it, but I saw a picture of it on a documentary. Yeah. It was, you saw the big black blob that showed up on radar? It did show up, most definitely. Yeah, there's something going on. And are we getting ready to experience a pole reversal, a polar shift with all this weather? There is talk about man-made weather, that we do have the ability to make it rain and make it snow and stuff like that. And that would be HAARP and stuff. And they did sign an agreement. What was it? They signed an agreement, all the nations did, years and years ago, not to use weather as a weapon against one another. One what is that treaty? Let me pull it up for you. Treaty. Not to use weather as a weapon. You can see it. You're going to pull it up. Here it is right here. It was the 1976 Convention on the Prohibition of Military or Hostile. I'll let you read it. It's got to pull it up, you all. It's the ICRC, the Advisory Service on International Humanitarian Law. The 1976 Convention on the Prohibition of Military or Other Hostile Use of Environmental Modification Techniques. You can see them right there. It gets really deep. Look at this. The Protocol 1 of 1977, additional to the Geneva Conventions of 1949, 2 years after the Roswell incident, applies to international armed conflict that contains specific things, protection of the environment. Look at this. While the convention prohibits deliberate modification of the environment as a means of warfare, additional protocol prohibits attacks on the environment and such as regardless of the means that they used it. You can see all of this yourself. If you look it up, you can see it. They can't do it. It falls right under the environmental. I'm going to go. It's 7:24. We could be at the beginning of a pole reversal, a pole shift, or there could be some type of massive planetary system. Planetary system that is here in the sky. That's another theory that's why they're spraying the sky, because there is a planetary system. Let me try to flip this. Nibiru is a fictional planet that is central to doomsday and conspiracy theories. There is no scientific evidence. But let's read this. Let's read this. Planet X, NASA and Planet X. NASA and Planet X. Hypothetical Planet X, to be clear, it has not yet been discovered, and there is a debate in the scientific community about whether it exists. Planet 9, that right there, Planet 9, it's possible a Planet 9 and perhaps 10 times the mass of Earth, 20 times farther sun from Neptune. The Nibiru cataclysm, Planet X. NASA says new evidence exists for massive Planet X. To be clear, Planet X, Planet 9 has not yet been discovered, and there is debate in the scientific community. NASA says new evidence exists for massive Planet X. NASA breakthrough, Planet X might be real, and it's bigger. Hidden beyond Neptune, Planet X, theorized to be 7 times the Earth's mass, challenges astronomers to uncover its existence. NASA's WISE survey found thousands of new stars, but hypothesized that it was a celestial body in our solar system, commonly dubbed Planet X. Right there, it has an oblong orbit. And there's something associated with this oblong orbit. It's like in April the 13th of 2029, the god of destruction is coming. Its asteroid is the asteroid Apophis, and it's asteroid number 99942, and it's going to show up on April the 13th. Whether it will hit the Earth directly, but it was here right before the elections. It was called the one of the most feared asteroids out there. Apophis. Was that what it was? The Apophis is coming back around April the 13th of 2029, and by 2029, there's no telling what's going to happen then. Yeah. It's captured on the SO. Yeah. I'm going to go, you all. So thank you for coming on here, and thank you, moderators. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.